Saskatchewan in the white. And right away, Saskatchewan finds the back of the net. That didn't take long. Barely any time off the clock. And right away, it is a 1-0 lead. Saskatchewan. Mammoth strike first as a quick cut to the net. And that's going to put Ottawa in a very quick hole that they're going to have to quickly try to climb out of. Just an impressive start and a complete collapse as Jeff Bassett went streaking in, and he found himself in behind, in alone, and nothing that Nicholas Lamb, the goaltender tonight, wearing number 20 for Ottawa, was able to do as he tried to stack the pads, sprawl out in desperation, but Bassett able to put it in and make it a 1-0 game here with just a few moments ticked by in this opening period. 11:37 to go here in the opening frame. Saskatchewan leading 1-0. Bassett has seen to that as it's played over to the far side boards. And Saskatchewan goes to work again. There's a drive, and Lamb's able to shoulder that one to the corner boards. And the battle ensues as the Mammoth try to maintain possession, but the Godfathers looking to work it out. And now a shuffle back and forth up the far side boards just inside the blue line. Offensive zone possession continues here for the Mammoth. There's a cut to the goal. Can he find him? No, he cannot. Great block down on his backside for the breakup there in an impressive fashion. James Holden, the defenseman in the black and white, able to break that up. Then the other direction. There's a hard collision. Standing tall through that with Rathje. And we got the whistle and a face-off. And we'll bring it down here to this near side, just down to our left. Furious action right away. Mammoth taking a 1-0 lead early on. Just 15 seconds into this game. 6:43 locally here in Winnipeg. Over to the far side boards. This is backhanded into the attacking end, and both teams race back into the Mammoth end where they'll take over and try to bring this down this left-hand side. Long stretch pass through the center. And the Godfathers recollect, but then that one deflects high into the air. Glove down, brought down this right-hand wing into the attacking end for Saskatchewan. 10:20 to go here in this first period. Mammoth leading 1-0. Over to the far side boards. 2-on-1 they battle. There's Lamb to stick that one up and out of play. And we'll get a whistle and a face-off in the defensive end of Ottawa. Already as we approach the 2-minute mark gone by, a very clear front foot and a very clear back foot for these two sides. Side defending with their backs to their own goal line here for this face-off. Ottawa, they have been rocked onto their heels with the early goal and then continued pressure. Really have not had anything the other way here in the first 2 minutes. We'll see if that changes as we go along. Rimmed around over the near side. Played back to the blue line. Kept in possession by Ottawa. Here they come down this left-hand wing into the attacking end. Miller tries to feed the middle. That's negated. Pushed back over to the near side boards. Back to the point. There's a drive and a save made by Jason Grossland, the goaltender in white. Lifted down down the floor rather, and batted down inside his defensive end for Ottawa. And the Godfathers will try to move this down that right-hand wing. Foot races on to the corner. Stolen away by the Mammoth. A slight shift in tone here as the two sides go back and forth, and Ottawa has started to generate some offense, but still trailing 1-0. Bassett's early goal 15 seconds in. Mammoth need to be careful here just inside the line. That was a maybe a bit too long of a hold. As now Ottawa takes over behind their own goal. Under 9 to go. here in this first period. Action moving right along as they work down that right-hand wing. Dumped on in. And a dead sprint to the end boards. Behind the goal, working over to this near side corner, the Mammoth with a great pickpocket play. And they're able to work through center. Slightly off to the left, across the blue line, stops, gets that floating blue line back to the red line. But a cross-line play over the near side circle, pushed down from behind, and that's more of a stumble than anything. And it's covered up by Crossland. And that'll bring about the whistle on a face-off in the Godfathers' end. Under 8.5 to go. Godfathers will set up to the left-hand side of Crossland, who's catching with that same left hand. Face off one back to the corner. It's spun around to the far side, and a battle of a white and a black sweater converge. And now down the right-hand wing, the Godfathers will try to bring this forward. Great reach of the stick to jar that free, and the Mammoth recollect on their own side. Banked forward errantly through the neutral zone, and that allows the exchange of hands. 8 to go here in the first period. In across the line. There's a slicing shot blocked at point-blank range off a shin, and that could, if this lands correctly, spring the Godfathers. There's a give and go down that right-hand wing. Push back. Here's a drive that never makes it on frame for James Holden. Holden had that big stop in the early goings as the Mammoth were looking to make it a quick 2-0. They had a man cutting to the backside post, and Holden just dropped down to his backside and put the body in the lane. Now the other way. Here come the Godfathers again. Down the right-hand side. Cuts back. High slot. There's the shot. Changes direction. Second chance. Scores. Falling down, and Michael Miller's able to put it into the back of the net. And the Godfathers, who were rocked just 15 seconds into this one, get their answer with 7:21 left to go here in the first. You just felt after that first weathering of the storm that the Godfathers were able to produce. Once they started to get a few offensive chances, it started to even out a bit, and then they started to string a few together. And they find a breakthrough as Miller makes it 1-1 and ties this thing up as we approach the midway point of the period. Harrison feeds it forward down this right-hand wing, pumping the brakes right across the line is Dentremont. Now his feed to the middle, that gets negated, and then all the way back down this left-hand wing, here comes the fast break, stops out of the corner. Ottawa trying to feed this to the middle, that gets intercepted, and then the break is on down the right-hand wing by Bernhardt. He snaps to the middle, finds his man. Shot is taken away, and then he squeaks it through on a great wind-up high slot from Pasternak. And Evan Pasternak, the D-man, just waited, had to dance away from the defender in his face, but is able to go low to the near side post and tuck it in. And he makes it a 2-1 advantage in favor of the Mammoth, who reestablished their lead here midway through the first. So Bassett and Pasternak give the Mammoth two separate leads. Miller, the only equalizing goal that made it 1-1. But Pasternak's latest goal, that's the one that gives the Mammoth their advantage right back. It didn't take long for them to find that answer. And we'll see what the response will be here from the Godfathers. Ottawa trailing by a goal, 6 to go, halfway through the period. They are heavily forced back into their own end, and they come away with a turned over puck, and now the Mammoth looking to try to add another quickly. This is fed forward, the give and go. Can he get it right back? No, just out of his reach. They'll sprint down the left-hand wing, and they'll tie up off the near side boards. Dunn just couldn't keep that one in front of him, and then the ensuing wrestling match down the wing sees the Mammoth recollect. Here's a slide up the right-hand wing, and that will allow the Godfathers to jump in, intercept. 5:18 to go here in the period. Still leading 2-1 is Saskatchewan. Intercepted in the neutral zone, carried across the blue line. No wait to pull that back. That's just throw it on frame and then go chase after it. It was a good stop there to kick it wide by Lamb. Now back down the other way is the arm up. And it is. That'll be icing against the Godfathers. Five ticks under 5 to go. Here in this first period, 2-1. Saskatchewan has never trailed. They've led on both occasions. Bassett, then Pasternak. Bassett came just 15 seconds into this game when he was able to slip in behind the defense and walk it past Lamb on the far side post. And the folks here at Keith Bodley Arena being treated to an entertaining first half of the first period of this quarterfinal in the men's 34-plus division. Far side of the rink, two sticks come together, that pops into the air. Godfathers look for a quick breakout. They have numbers moving forward, 3-on-2. Down this left-hand wing, they pump. They were still outside the blue line, and that's forced back down to the right-hand side of your screen. Godfathers recollect. Less than 4.5 to go. Opening period of play. This is snapped all the way down. And that'll bring about the whistle. Icing again here against the Godfathers. Everybody will make the slow trip down to the right-hand side, catch their breath, maybe a few passing conversations on their way there, and then they'll get set to drop the ball again. 4:12 to go. Lamb sends to his left-hand side. Big face-off here, trailing by a goal. Opportunity here for the Godfathers to try to spring something forward, and that's exactly what they'll try to do after the win. Snapped across the zone, banked forward into the neutral zone. Reach in from behind, just couldn't break that up. So the Godfathers will try to float it forward again. That one catches the referee. Saskatchewan throws it down, intercepted, now brought across the line on the left-hand side. And they're offside. And that will slow momentum forward. And it'll bring it back for a neutral zone faceoff. Face-off one back by the Mammoth. They'll go to work out of their own end. Long snap down that left-hand side. A tie-up sees that kick right back toward the red line and then brought in across the line down this left-hand wing. Here's a snapshot. Goes backside post looking for the rebound. Still free. It's forced below the goal line. And the Mammoth get a break there as their goaltender comes up big on that cross-net shot. Snapped long backside. There's a shot. Rebound. Second chance. They still prod at it. Finally, the whistle comes. And the Godfathers are denied. But what a chance at a second goal for Miller, who took an absolute beautiful pass onto the tape of his stick from just off to the left-hand corner all the way to that backside circle. That was a beautiful pass to find it through traffic. Miller just couldn't put it past the pads of Crossland. So the Godfathers, something that has been a bit of a rarity for them, despite finding their way onto the score sheet and having some great chances, they have not had too many opportunities to try to win a face-off in their attacking end. Right there they do, and they go to work here with the ball over to the far side corner of the blue line now. That gets intercepted on the play forward, so that will spring the Mammoth down to the right-hand side. Over on the left wing, this is played below the goal line. Shielded off, wrapped over to the near side corner. Just over 2.5 to go here in the period. Snap to the near side of the slot. Played to the low side of the circle. Just riding around this circle, there's a sort of curling shot that gets denied by Lamb. And we get our whistle as I believe that ball went out of play. Oh no, I believe it went down for icing. Stand corrected. 2:24 to go in the second period. Face off to Lamb's right now. Bested twice, but has come up with a heavy workload here so far in this first period, as one of his teammates goes to his stomach right off the face-off. And now heavy forechecking pressure from this Mammoth side, and it benefits them as they come away with the ball. Out of the corner, fed to the middle. That rolls off the shins of the defender. Will not find its intended target. Nearly lost it. He works atop the formation, dancing with it, trying to find the avenue forward. Michael Bugg still with it. Feeds over to the high slot, and that's forced over to the far side wall. That takes a deflection off a block, prodded forward, but not to the blue, or to the red line rather. Into the middle, soccered off the foot. Kicks back over, taken again by Bugg. He lays off to the near side. And this can be walked back to by Rathje. Forward to the corner now. 1.5 minutes to go. Over to the far side boards. Still heavy pressure here from the Mammoth. No rest for the Godfathers defense. And finally they do force a turnover as that took a deflection off colliding sticks. Kicks over the corner. And a breath of fresh air here for the Godfathers, who have plenty of room and space as both teams are changing as they can settle up in their own end. But right away, that window is closed down as the Mammoth come in trying to steal it away. Oh, there's a wrestling match, arms all up over each other's heads, and finally they pull free. Referee standing right there says play on. This is thrown quickly down the floor. And that will go for icing. So less than a minute to go. Face-off comes down to the right-hand side. Entertaining back and forth. First period of action with 42 seconds left to go. Face-off one hotly over to the near side wall. It will be kept in between the blue and red lines. So the Mammoth go to work here with 0.5 minute left to go in the period. They lead 2-1. They scored 15 seconds in, then reestablished their lead on Pasternak's latest. 20 seconds. Time for an attack at either end of the rink rather than the ice. And that will go out of play off the rafters. And we'll try the face-off down in Lamb's end to his right-hand side with 17 seconds left to go. Back to the red line. Time left for a shot if they can set it up correctly. So fed through the middle, and that's ushered aside by Lamb. They continue to work, pushed back. Just inside the blue line. That's thrown to the middle, and it rolls off a shin, never making it on frame, and that'll do it for the first period of action. 2-1. It's the Mammoth on top of the Godfathers in a hotly contested first period. Second period coming your way next. And we get set for period number 2 here between Saskatchewan Mammoth and the Ottawa Godfathers. Godfathers found an answer to the early 15-second goal by the Mammoth, but in the later stages of the opening 12 minutes, it was Pasternak for the Mammoth. Put them back in front. 2-1 is where we start. Mammoth in the white, green, and gold, while the Godfathers, well, aptly named for the sweaters they're wearing, the tuxedo in the black and white. They flip ends of the rink, and we're underway here as the Mammoth have the first offensive zone possession. See if they can replicate what they did in the early moments of period number 1. Again, 15 seconds is all it took for Bassett to find the back of the net. Already a bit longer than that as Lamb makes a kick save there and is quickly snapped forward. And the Godfathers look for a quick response down this right-hand wing. Trying to get the goal back early here in this period as the Godfather takes a spill, and now everybody has to backtrack down to the left-hand side. Lamb sort of got sprawled out there, gets back into position. Here's a wind-up blast. That gets blocked at point-blank range by the goal scorer, Miller. That was a great dive down to prevent that from going forward. Lamb punches it out of the air, a bit awkwardly so. That had a lot of force on it. Miller slips, so that creates the space for the Mammoth player. There's a backhand into the middle. Lamb gets a piece of it, forces it wide. Under 11 to go here in the second period. Still 2-1 Mammoth. And they are taking their time, just circling the wagons now, trying to wear down this defense. There's a drive to the net. Sprawled out is Lamb. And the whistle comes. Oh, and there's an extra push after the whistle. And we'll see if anything comes out of that. 10:41 to go here in the second period. Lamb got called into action very quickly on that long drive to the net that found its way there, and then the scramble to cover up the rebound. So Lamb sets up to his right-hand side as we get ready for this face-off to get the action back underway. Trying to win it back, set him up here in the offensive end. Joel Thompson, the 61 in white. Thompson gets a piece of it but can't move it forward, so that will allow for the Godfathers to bring it down that left-hand side, but quickly interjecting is a defenseman in white, and that will allow for the spring down that right-hand side. And back and forth they go on either side of the blue line, finally corralled here by the Godfathers. Work down this right-hand wing. Drop pass off. Here's the shot backside post. Oh, and that nearly got past Crossland. But he's able to maybe get a piece of that to usher it to the end boards, and his teammates can take over out in front of him. 10 to go here in the second period. Chipped forward. That gets intercepted right out in front. So it's brought ahead down this right-hand side, but they're offside. With 10 even to go. Well, it's correction, 9:56 to go. And it looks as though in all of that, there's a penalty here, and it's going to go against the Godfathers. So shorthanded goes the team that's on the short side of things, trailing 2-1. Godfathers go shorthanded, an opportunity here for an already red-hot offense. That is big in the possession numbers here for the Mammoth to try to set up with the manpower advantage. They go to the point, slid over to that far side, top of the circle. Now down low. Back up the far side wall, snapped over to the point. Fakes the drive, gives off. Ooh, a bit offset there. Had to reach down, reposition himself. Gives back to the point again. Now over to the near side. There's a drive. Lamb gets a piece of it. Pops into the air. Needs to be careful here as the back line of defense. Repossessed by the Mammoth. They go to the corner. Power play time continuing. Fed backside and maybe reaching a stick out in time. To break that up was Lamb. And the Godfathers get a much-needed clear after that bit of desperation. 9:08 to go as the penalty time continues to wind. Harrison, he's the quarterback here. He'll hang around the blue line. He'll get it over at the point. Creeps forward, lays off of it, gives to a teammate on the far side, top of the circle, now gets it back. Keeps lining up for the shot, but can't get one to have an avenue. Under 9 to go. Power play still in effect. Fed backside and sliding over was Lamb. Again, they try the backside, this time to the near side. Harrison at the point again. One touched into the middle. Now down low out of the corner. They feed backside. Fakes the shot, feeds for the tip. There's an opportunity that just goes behind the net and wide. Harrison pinches over. 8:18 to go. Still 5-on-4 power play here for the Mammoth. At the point, guided down low. Lamb sprawled out. He got a leg to it, and he's able to cover it up and get the whistle with 8:10 to go here in this middle period and keep this a 2-1 game. Big time stop there by Lamb on that quick just glide down low on the directed pass toward the goal by Harrison to create the opportunity for the rebound. Face-off one back by the Mammoth. Still going to work here on the power play, but time is winding down on it. Near side, top of the circle, works back to the point, feeds backside post. Lamb gets a piece. That deflects below the goal line, so Saskatchewan can stay with it. Man is out of the box, and that'll do it for the power play. And that could be a big morale boost here for Ottawa if they are able to get the ball back after that nearly costly turnover below the goal line. Now they can try to set things up, but again, the forechecking pressure for the Mammoth. Nearly another takeaway. Ooh, there's a big collision behind. As diving out is Crossland, as pressure was bearing down on him with 7:26 to go here in this second period. Still 2-1 Mammoth over the Godfathers. Everybody seems to be okay from that collision of just it was traffic in the running lane and the collision. Everybody seems okay, pops up. And we get set for this face-off here in the attacking end for Ottawa. Crossland to his left. Face-off one back by the Godfathers, but a great jump in by the Mammoth player to steal that away and create some space down the other end of the rink. Godfathers having to get a little bit of creativity involved to create the space to exit their zone. The forecheck for this Mammoth side has been impressive and suffocating at times. It has led to turnovers and a continued wearing down of this black and white defense. So the opportunities to break out have been stifled, but the Godfathers have been able to find some ways, albeit with some nifty misdirection, to create the space to move out. There's a quick turning chance that moved the net a little bit. Lamb readjusts it as the Godfathers try to vacate their own end. Forced down low as Brock Murray couldn't get it out. Over the far side, again the Mammoth come away with it, and Lamb dives on top of the loose ball in the crease with 6:48 to go. And that's exactly what I was just mentioning about of the continued press forward of these white sweaters in the attacking end, forcing those turnovers, the quick clears with the pressure bearing down on them, as there's a drive to the net that Lamb stops. At some point, you wonder if the dam that is cracked in the 2-1 deficit will break any further, as that gets tipped with a high stick, but they will play on as the Mammoth take over, or excuse me, the Godfathers take over. He snaps it down that left-hand side, right at the red line. That pops directly into the air. Two sticks come together, a third joins the party, And the Godfathers are able to take over, try to move this toward the blue line. Impeded from coming forward, so that allows for a steal. And the White Sweaters to bring it ahead. That pops into the air off a block. Harrison trying to keep it alive in the attacking end. He's sandwiched off. A teammate in Mitchell comes to his aid. Mitchell with the ball, off the wall, feeds to the middle. One time they score. A quick snap from just outside the slot. And that's able to get through the pads of Lamb as Harrison was passing in front. And the Mammoth take a 3-1 lead and have some breathing room, the largest lead of the night for them. Benchermont able to find the back of the net. And the Mammoth, their relentlessness in the attacking end, pays dividends again. Just outside the blue line, now creeps across, long throw, sprawled out with the glove was Lamb. A snap to the crease, and Lamb gets a piece to force it wide. Just about 5 minutes to go. There's another drive with all sorts of traffic in front of the Ottawa goaltender. They dig for it off the wall. This Saskatchewan side, no giving up. As soon as they smell blood in the water, they are attack, attack, attack in the offensive end. In front of their own bench. That gets backhanded forward, and I think that came off somebody on the bench. That is the case. So we'll get a whistle on a face-off. Ottawa was able to find an answer, and then quickly it was negated by the go-ahead goal by Pasternak. Now, Detremont here, the only goal in the second period. Does Ottawa have another answer? Won't be enough to tie this, but it could get them right back in it because the way this has gone in the last couple of minutes with the onslaught of chances for the Mammoth, you have to wonder if that's starting to weigh on the minds of the Godfathers. They win the face-off from the neutral zone. They'll try to bank it forward down this right-hand wing. In front of the Mammoth bench. Some mild pleas for a penalty, but nothing more. Mammoth take over. They'll retreat back to their own side. Pasternak, the defenseman, who scored that second goal, the one that right now stands as the game winner with less than a period and a half to go. He'll take it off the far side boards. Banked just at the red line. That squeaks across. And untouched for icing against the Mammoth. Haven't seen many of those tonight. They have had crisp, clean passes all night long, and that one just misfires, and they'll come back down the other way. A tick under 4 to go here in the second. Still a 3-1 scoreline. Crossland sits up to his right-hand side. Face-off is one back. Ottawa goes to work. Here's a drive from the point. That changes directions out in front, pops up and out of play. We'll try it again from the dot. Face-off sees the ball roll to Crossland. He'll quickly brush it aside, give it off to a teammate, and the Mammoth can start their charge. Down the left-hand wing into the attacking end. Cuts to the goal, goes to the forehand. Delayed call, covered up by Lamb, and the Mammoth are going to go shorthanded for slashing. The Godfathers are going to go shorthanded for slashing, and the Mammoth go back to the power play, a chance to grow their lead. So the Godfathers backed up against the wall right now. 5-on-4. A power play that was all about possession in their only time out there so far. And they go to work again. There's an in-tight chance. It rolls up the body of Lamb. And they work it off the near side wall. Harrison gives it off to the far side. Back in that quarterback position. Gives off far circle. There's a drive. That gets blocked right back over to him. Now to the corner. Circling the wagons. Looking for the opportunity to play this to the middle. There's a quick snap backside post. A little sprawled out was Lamb, and he got a piece of one of the chances. And it's forced wide. Great misdirection just to play it to the backside post again and again. That bouncing ball out in front. Lamb sprawled down and he covers it up. All sorts of chaos in terms of the back and forth out in front of Nicholas Lamb. And again, he has to come up with a save sliding down to his side. And he keeps it out. There's a nice little dump off as his power play goes back to work. Over to the far side. Still the slashing penalty on the board against this Godfather side. Mammoth trying to make it what would be a commanding 3-goal advantage. Most recently, it's been Dentremont that has made it a 2-goal lead with some breathing room. Snap to the middle. That gets negated by a block. Popped over to the near side. That'll stay in play as it dropped to the glass just before the netting. Swept over to the corner. Power play still in effect here for Saskatchewan. Trying to wear down this defense. Harrison with it. Gives off low into the middle. And trying to dive on top was Lamb, but unsuccessful in doing so. It stays alive. They work it back to the high slot. Tough angle to score from, but put it to the middle and hope for the rebound. And that will pop out of play. You can see just the relentlessness of the Saskatchewan attack. But they've just been unable to break through here on this power play. In fact, neither one of their goals have, or any of their 3 have come with the man advantage. As they want to try to draw something up here and capitalize on the last few moments with this timeout. Neutral zone face-off, still 5-on-4 power play opportunity in effect here for Saskatchewan. They scrum for it, pulled back at the red line. Snapped over to the near side, onside entry. Works back into the neutral zone, giving off. Feeds over to that far side post. Didn't get enough of the angle on it as Lamb was able to make a successful stop. Power play still in effect. Back to the point. Pasternak now into quarterback. Works forward, gives off down this left-hand wing. Further to the goal line, given back. Pasternak lining up for the one-timer. They feed it to him. Here it comes. Oh, and he just misses, and that big rebound off the end boards is pushed over to the corner. Still alive here for Saskatchewan. Pasternak, another drive, and that gets blocked and cleared down the rink. And that is a big motivational clear for the Godfathers. 8 seconds to go before penalty time has expired. About half a minute to go in the period. Pushed back over to the far side. One-timer forward. Lamb steers that over to the near side. They continue to work. Pasternak directs it back over. Fed down low, just outside the crease. Power play still working. That gets swept away with the stick of Lamb. Out of the corner now. They feed all the way to the backside, and that one-timer misses. Big bounce over. And that'll do it for the period. The power play still looking to find a breakthrough, but regardless of how it produces tonight, the Mammoth have done enough to take a 2-goal advantage, some breathing room into the third period. We're here at the intermission. Third coming your way next. 3-1, Mammoth over the Godfathers. Third period about to get underway, and for Ottawa, it is do or die time as they find themselves down 2 goals. Their lone goal coming as an answer to the 15-second goal from Bassett to put the Mammoth in front 1-0 early on in the first period. They were able to answer from Miller. Pasternak then later in that period made it a 2-1 game. And Dentremont has since added to it with a goal in that second period. And an opportunity here with just a few seconds left to go on the power play. Try to win it back, pull the trigger quickly, and do what they couldn't do on their first opportunity, which was find the back of the net. Regardless, they still have the lead. Godfathers backed into their own end. Pasternak gave it off backside, intercepted. That's cleared ahead, and that will not go for icing as penalty time had yet to expire. And so the Mammoth will take over on their own side of the rink as the power play has come to an end. First of 2 quarterfinals here this evening. Coming up after this one, Toronto Titans and the Edmonton Whalers will meet here on Keith Bodley Arena. A chance in the semifinal winner bracket or the winner of this game. And right now, the Mammoth have the Godfathers just running around searching for the ball. It has been a game of possession for the team in white tonight. As a delayed call here again against the Godfathers. They're the only ones who have sent somebody to the box, and they're about to do so again as they get the extra man on. Down by 2 goals, not what you want in a quarterfinal. There's a collision off the ball out in front of goal. Looking for the avenue, just trying to milk time off and inviting the pressure. No need to hurry here. You have the advantage. You can just run this down. And that's exactly what this Mammoth side is trying to do. There's a hard collision on the boards, finally touched up. And the penalty can be assessed. So Ottawa will send someone to the box for a 3rd time tonight. Well, the way this looks, there might be a 2nd going to the box. And that is the case. But it's a 2nd player overall and 1 for the Mammoth. So we could be looking at 4-on-4 here. As the way it looks, they were at different times, and they're not offsetting. At least that's the indication we're getting. And the Mammoth committing the most recent of the 2 infractions. Will see themselves backed into their end for the face-off as we continue to the discussions on the far side of the rink. It looks as though everything has been assessed and discussed. All except maybe the game plan here for the Godfathers. Well, all right. What do we have here? So now we go from a 4-on-4 to what looks to be a 5-on-4 power play opportunity for the Godfathers. Had to do a double check to make sure that my eyes are not deceiving me, and there are, in fact, 5 out there. So what was going to be a power play opportunity for the Mammoth to try to milk time off the clock and just ride this one out, maybe add some extra insurance, has now gone upended. But for some reason, we have still not restarted. Looks as though they get the signal. And I believe the boxes are right next, so I believe there are 2 in the box for the Mammoth. And that is what has created this power play opportunity, their first of the night for Ottawa. Godfathers with a huge opportunity here. If they can score and get right back in this one, they can give themselves a chance here as we approach the midway point of the 3rd period. There's a drive, and that gets blocked in front. Slid forward, a clash of sticks, and now a quick breakout shorthandedly. This can turn into a 2-on-1 if his man can get there. He does not as it's broken up. So now the Godfathers work down the left-hand side. Sweeps it off the backhand into the slot. That kicks over. And the power play can continue here for Ottawa. 9 minutes to go. Far side drive into the middle, and that one's directed back toward the red line and across. So the Black Sweaters will walk out. They'll touch up at the blue line as they start to charge forward. Down this left-hand side. Just can't get it across the line, so they'll have to try again. Lamb comes out to stop it, and very quickly they come charging after him. Lamb barely kept that one in play. Out of the blue line, it was a cross, so they get the float back to the red line, and now the power play can set up in the attacking end. Two more late to the party to arrive. There's a feed in the middle. That gets negated by a block. Pushed back to the point man. Directed over to the circle. Right back to the top of the formation. Snap to the middle and a save made by Crossland. Over to the far side boards in front of the bench. Grab to the near side. LeMay tried to play it through, but it's intercepted by the Mammoth, and again it's clear. Power play time still in effect. Beg your pardon, it is now since expired. So the Mammoth get the job done, maintaining their 2-goal advantage. As it's pushed down the length of the rink, icing not a factor here as the Godfathers take over. 7 to go. The difference right now is 2. 7 minutes separating the Mammoth from a trip to the winner's bracket semifinal. They're in the attacking end now. Laid over. Oh, what a spin move. Looking off the backhand, instead goes forehand, trying to feed his man. Backside post, they can't connect. Oh, another nifty move. This is just a pure showcase right now. Long drive in the net. Rebound out in front. It's still loose. It's picked up. And the Godfathers can do nothing but clear it. But what hands in the attacking end to just create that opportunity. And some increased panic by this Ottawa side. Mammoth not settling for the insurance they already have. They want more and to try to put this game away. Have yet to be able to produce it, but in terms of chances and overall threats, they have certainly produced in bulk. Into the attacking end. Off the backhand, rolls away to the near side boards. That was Rathje. Laid it down low. Now he works back to the blue line. He'll get it off the near side boards. Drives it to the net, steered wide off the leg pad by Lamb. Wrestling match out in front of him. Rathje again. Creeps in, winds up, drives. That gets blocked. 5.5 to go. And that gets intercepted. And that will be the penalty. And we'll see a man in the box for slashing. And LeMay will go for the Godfathers, and things just continue to pile on in the wrong way for Ottawa as they find themselves down a man, down 2 goals. A 4-minute penalty with 5:24 to go. Mammoth can almost taste the semifinal. Still work to do. Harrison will take it, creeps in over to the near side. One-timer drive, and that's directed off the chest pad of Lamb. Harrison gloves it down, brushes over far side circle. Calls for it back. Will he get it or not? They give it to him. He lays off, spins over, tough angle. Lays off the shot from below the goal line. Works back to the point. Out of the low circle. Under 5 to go. Power play in effect here off the slashing call against the Godfathers. Harrison over to that far side circle, gets it back, pitch and catch. They continue to go back and forth. Now tries to go through the middle over to the near side man on the back post, and they can't connect. Crossland Coming out, he's just shuffling, trying to play keep away, looking for the opportunity to deliver this forward. He'll snap it up the boards. Great pressure there, but all it did was further milk time off and allow for the pass to come ahead. Mammoth set up at the blue line, trying to come across it. Power play still in effect. Slashing was the call. Harrison walks his way forward, up by 2 goals. Power play looking for another. Fake shot creates the opportunity for the pass. Backside post, it won't go. Winds up, lays off, down low. Can he get it back? They give it right back up the boards. Back to the point. Near side circle, a drive, and that one's deflected wide. 3:52 to go. One thing that they have done extremely well tonight is kill off penalties. This is their 3rd one they're killing off in terms of the power play opportunity. In tight chance, Lamb gobbles up the rebound, and he'll hold on. Despite conceding 3 goals, Nicholas Lamb has certainly been a huge part to why this game is still a reachable distance, albeit time winding down for the Godfathers. Without his performance tonight, no telling how many the Mammoth might have been able to put up. They have been lethal in terms of their passing and chance creation. But Lamb has time and time again made the required stops to keep this one close. Power play goes to work. Top of the formation. 3.5 to go before one of these two sides finds their way into the semifinals tomorrow. As it stands, it's the Saskatchewan Mammoth. Face off to the near side of the rink. Lofted back and unable to corral it was Pasternak. And if this game finishes by this scoreline or any scoreline that sees the Godfathers not finding another goal, it's his first period tally to make it at that point 2-1 that goes down as the game winner. There he is, top, drives, and that one steered off the pads of Lamb, still alive below the goal line. Power play time down to 1:24. 2:45 to go in the game. 3-1, leading are the Mammoth. Time ticking away for the Godfathers. They're not going to have much time to work with at even strength, and maybe even the advantage if they can get Lamb off to try to score 2 goals when this penalty expires. Snap backside post, getting a piece of it to steer it to the corner was Lamb. 2:07 to go, 40 seconds to go on the penalty. Walk-in chance out in front, Lamb gets a piece, and it's over to that far side corner now. They continue to battle for it. Unable to get the clear are the Godfathers. Mammoth still working with it. Fed through the middle, that's negated, but falls favorably to a white sweater. Lamb dives on top on the near side post. 21 to go on the penalty, 1:45 to go in the game. And now for the Godfathers, it is pretty much now or never. It is all systems go, no restrictions. Gotta find 2 goals here in the next minute and a half and some change. Godfathers possess the ball. Backhanded forward. Icing not a factor. Crossland plays it over to the far side as the Mammoth recollect. That's played in and held on to. So we'll get the whistle, a face-off, and pretty soon, even strength hockey as LeMay will come out of the box in just a few moments. And it looks as though the Godfathers want to talk things through. They'll start shorthanded with an offensive zone faceoff. But the question becomes, will they be shorthanded with 4 or 5 on the floor? Lamb just off screen. We'll see what the decision is there. And from the looks of it, looks as though this will be 5-on-5, but without any backstop for this Ottawa side. Lamb to the bench. Net is empty. 5-on-5. Technically, the power play still in effect for a few more moments for the Mammoth. All or nothing. There's a quick drive forward. A save made by Crossland. Needed to make that one off the shoulder. Ball pops free. Thrown in the middle. And another steer clear as it's floated forward down the length. And it's icing against the Mammoth. Penalty time has expired. 1:12 to go. It'll be 6-on-5 in the attacking end for this face-off for the Godfathers. They need to extend their time in the game and to keep their hopes of a semifinal appearance alive. Otherwise, the Mammoth on to the Final Four. Ball hits the ceiling. We'll try it again. We get back underway. Six on 5, net is empty. Below the goal line. Up the far side boards, they need to score to the Godfathers. Trying to keep their hopes of a semifinal appearance alive. Under a minute to go. No one backstopping them. Lamb, a phenomenal performance tonight. But his team just unable to produce as of now. Can they do it right there? Oh, big time diving down, saved by Crossland to reach out the glove and break that up. Miller scoring the lone goal for the Godfathers back in the first period to at that point make it a 1-1 game. Pasternak, as it stands, he's the game winner in that first period. Detremont made it the scoreline you see now. Is there more on it with an empty net or a goal in the 6-on-5? As that rolls all the way down, icing assessed with 29 seconds left to go. Realistically, at this point, it needs to be win it, shoot it, score it, do it again. Again, it's pushed down. Rolls toward the net. And just misses for another icing. 3 seconds ticked off that time. So again, we come back down. The rapid fire icings almost like the final minute of a basketball game. The one you say, oh, there's 60 seconds on the clock, and then you realize, oh, it's going to take us 10 minutes to get through it. Clock stops every couple of moments here with the icings. You're going to loft this forward, and Oh, Harrison in a bit of disagreement on that, saying just play it forward. Don't go for the empty netter. Let's just make sure we get the clock done. They get called for the icing again. 15 seconds left to go. And the faceoff comes to the near side of the floor. That's rolled down. And we'll see with 11 seconds left to go. As they'll just keep Lamb on the bench. And the faceoff comes in their defensive end for the Godfathers, and that should pretty much do it. And the only change we might see is if the Mammoth are able to win this back, and they put one in just for the salt in the wound. One to the corner. This is lofted forward. I'll give you a hint. It's another icing. Now 7 seconds left to go. I wasn't wrong, and you can't say it's a commentator's curse because it has been happening, and then I mentioned it to try to get through this. These final 30 seconds have just been prolonged again and again, and that's going to do it. And we'll finally get to the horn, and the Mammoth are on to the semifinal with a 3-1 win. 2 goals in that first period. Pasternak broke the tie shortly after Miller got an answer for the Godfathers, but Pasternak made it 2-1, and then Detremont added to it to make it a 3-1 final as the Godfathers see their quest for the gold come to an end on the wrong end of the 2-goal deficit. It's the Saskatchewan Mammoth who move on from the quarterfinal here this evening. One more coming up after this one if you're sticking with us. It'll be a fun one. Toronto Titans and the Edmonton Whalers in the other quarterfinal here on Keith Bodley Rink. We hope you can join us for that. But here, the final score 3-1. Ottawa falls to the Mammoth.